Hello everyone, this is Farzana for farzanaslaw, and thank you so much for joining me today in this brand new video where I'll be sharing with you all how to balance Ramadan and a 9 to 5 job. And if you're interested in this kind of content, make sure to like, share and subscribe, because I like to make this content on a weekly basis, making sure that I'm helping you in some way or another, academically, professionally, personally and spiritually as well. So let's get started with the first tip on how to really balance Ramadan and a 9 to 5 job. Number one is start with strong intentions, also known as niyyah. And why does this matter? Because setting clear intentions aligns your work and worship, and reminding yourself that balancing both is part of your spiritual growth. And the best way to actually track this or make sure that you're having a good, strong intention, I believe, is to make sure that you're writing down your daily intention each morning, whether it's to be patient at work, completing your task efficiently, and also performing extra dhikr. One thing that I like to do personally, for example, is that as soon as I enter the office at 9 a.m., whatever that might be, 9 a.m., let's say, and let's suppose your work starts at 8:30 a.m., whatever that might be, you just start your work with Bismillah, also known as in the name of Allah. And this is the best way to actually start off and integrate spirituality into your work life as well, because then you also have this positive energy around you. You feel like to accomplish more and more goals, and you feel like that you can actually achieve much better and a faster rate as well if you bring Allah into everything. I believe this is very essentially important, especially success at work and also in your marriage, in your personal life, for your personal development as well. I believe that bringing Allah into everything is the best way to achieve success in that particular field. So let's get this started with the first tip, which is that strong intentions is very important. Have a good intention as to why you're actually integrating, why you're actually fasting in the first place. That's actually also a good way for you to practice as to why you're fasting every single day during the month of Ramadan and also going to work. I think that's a really good way to start off in a very positive note this beautiful, peaceful month of Ramadan this year, or even whatever year you're watching. Number two is plan your day the night before. And this matters because Ramadan can drain your energy, of course, so planning ahead reduces decision fatigue. And the best thing that you can do to make sure that you're planning your day before the night before, basically, is making sure before going to bed, create a simple to-do list. And in that to-do list, you basically write the top 3 work priorities, whether there might be, let's say, completing 2 completions at work, or you want to basically get done 2 things at work tomorrow, or it could be spiritual goals as well, such as Quranic pages. How many Quran pages do you want to read on that particular day? And also write down the salah times if you do not have access to internet, which I don't think is a problem anymore in this day and age. But let's just say that internet is not available for some reason, and then you write down the salah times before you actually get to work. And in that way, you're actually planning ahead on when you actually have to perform your Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha prayers, if it's basically in that time. And also personal care, where, for example, keep yourself hydrated, rest when you need to, etc. So planning your day in such a way actually make sure that your mind is off clear when you go to work, and at the same time you can think about more about Allah, and at the same time getting the work done, which is absolutely beautiful way to actually a beautiful marriage, I would say, to get this success in this life and also in the next life as well. The third tip on how to really make sure that you're balancing Ramadan and a 9 to 5 job effectively is utilizing suhoor for more than just eating. Why does this matter? Because suhoor isn't just for physical nourishment. It's also spiritual prime time when distractions are very minimal. And the best thing that you can do to make sure that you're utilizing suhoor for the best way as much as possible is to pray tahajjud, for example. So 20-30 minutes before actually Fajr prayer actually begins. You can wake up 20-30 minutes before that and just pray tahajjud, which is also known as a very voluntary prayer. And I like to believe this is a type of a prayer that is actually by invite only, which means that Allah does not really call every single one person on this earth to actually perform this prayer. He only chooses and picks and chooses who he loves, and he wants to basically them to actually come around and actually just pray and perform those voluntary prayers. So if you have something that you really want to have into your life, whether there might be more money, a beautiful marriage, or children, or a good career, whatever that might be, pray tahajjud prayer and you see how your life actually changes 360 degrees. Another thing that you can do 20-30 minutes before the Fajr prayer is to make sure that you're reading the Quran or reflecting on the Quran, reading the translation if that helps, and try to understand what the Quran is telling you, what Allah is telling you through this book, this holy book, what is the best way to live life. And the third thing that you can do also is set your mindset for the day in a more positive, light, peaceful, full of concentration and positivity, and you will see how that actually reflects and translates into your work life as well. Number 4 is prioritize tasks based on energy levels. This is very important because your energy dips and peaks while fasting, especially in the afternoon. So the best thing that you can do during the morning time, for example, is when you have the highest level of energy, is to focus on deep work and challenging tasks firsthand. So basically, for example, let's say you can allocate yourself between 9 a.m. to, let's say, 11:30 a.m. You do the most high energy work that you basically needs a lot of energy for you to actually get through, and focus on that deep work. Midday, for example, 12 to, I would say, 2-3 p.m. is to make sure that you're doing your administrative tasks, email or lighter projects, which basically require not so much energy, but it's very much automatic into your system already. The late afternoon is basically when you have the lowest level of energy. Do some simple tasks like organizing files, reviewing notes, or quiet reflection, which is the very best way to make sure that you are basically winding off in a very slow way and you're not rushing yourself, getting the things done which is the most urgent or the most important and emergency basically. So make sure you actually prioritize your tasks based on the energy levels, and you will see how much success you get at work, especially during the month of Ramadan. Number 5 is schedule short spiritual breaks, and this matters because micro breaks for spiritual connection keep you grounded amidst the work stress, and set reminders to pause for these such kind of things, because it's very important for you to make sure that you're giving yourself enough time to rest whenever you are actually at work as well. So 2 minutes for silent dhikr or gratitude. If you have done something which was really urgent, for example, and you need a break, do not be on your phone. Instead, set a 2-minute alarm for silent dhikr or gratitude, or basically practice gratitude. That's the best way to actually use those 2 minutes. Or if you have an important meeting going on that is coming up very, very soon, let's say in 10 minutes, 5 minutes before the meeting starts, you can make a quick dua or a supplication and, just remember Allah basically. Or another thing that you can do on your break time as well, or during your lunch hours, is reading a short Quran verse on your phone, or even read one page if you can. And in that way, you're basically bringing once again Islam into your daily life, which is very important, as I said before, for the success of this life and next life as well. Number 6 is batch similar tasks together. And this matters because task switching drains mental energy, especially when fasting. So it's very important that you're grouping similar activities or tasks together. For example, you can actually have 1 hour that is just specifically dedicated to responding to emails. And another thing that you can do is having meetings back to back, let's say in 1 or 2 hours. So then you're basically actually just doing that for those 2 hours. And that basically becomes automatic for your brain not to actually drain the energy in different levels for different things. And at the same time, another thing that you can do is have reserving some focus for blocks for creative work. So for example, if you have to really think about how to really write something creatively for a client or for a lender or for anyone for that matter that is basically part of your work, make sure that you're actually reserving some time actually for that as well. So then you can actually just focus on that, and you're not just changing your tasks every minute basically, because that actually can actually drain you very, very fast, which means that you're going to be having poor concentration levels. Your work life is not going to be really effective, and also you're more likely to make mistakes as well. So try that and see how it works for you. Number 7 tip on how to really make sure that you are balancing Ramadan and your 9-to-5 job is to make sure that you're communicating your Ramadan schedule at work. And why does this matter? Because setting expectations with your boss and colleagues helps manage workloads without compromising your spiritual goals as well. So make sure that you're actually politely sharing with your colleagues and your boss as well your preferred meeting times, which is early in the day if possible, adjusted break schedules for prayer, and your availability during iftar hours if relevant, of course. And this will make sure that you're creating a really good connection with everyone at work. Everybody's understanding your religion and your beliefs and your schedule, and at the same time you're respecting theirs as well when it's needed. So this is kind of like a mutual respect going on between yourself and your colleagues and your boss as well. And of course, make sure that even if they are Muslim, some of your colleagues, make sure you're actually still communicating with them, because it is always very good to be transparent and honest and authentic at work and also in your personal life as well. So make sure that you're actually following this rule, and you will see how much it does help you in making sure that your Ramadan gets more smoother during your work hours as well. Number 8 is optimizing your lunch break for worship. This matters because since you're not eating, you can repurpose this time for spiritual growth in a more effective way. Instead of watching any kind of a series, instead of watching any kind of YouTube videos, which are very useless, make sure that you're using your lunch break hour in the most effective way. Therefore, use this time to make sure that you're praying your dhuhr prayer in peace, reading the Quran or Islamic books, and take a mindful walk while doing dhikr. And my favorite one is definitely the third tip that I've shared with you all so far, which is to take a mindful walk while doing dhikr, because in this way you're actually getting to get out of that zone of office, walls and everything like that, and being in one room in one desk for like 8 to 9 hours straight. So it's very important that you're actually moving your body whilst you're actually also making time for prayer, and at the same time you're taking a mindful walk in the nature, preferably like in the park or around the trees and stuff like that. And in that way it will make sure that you're actually helping yourself and also changing the environment, which is also very important to make yourself feel refreshed and much more lively and youthful as well during the month of Ramadan. Number 9 tip is simplify iftar prep with meal planning, and this matters because after work you will be low on energy, so having meals prepared reduces stress and frees up times for ibadah as well. One of the best things you can do to make sure that you're not feeling really lethargic and you're not eating anything at all, especially after a long day at work during the iftar time, is making sure that you're meal prepping on the weekends, which is a really good way to make sure that you're actually planning your nutrition as well and you're keeping your health in check. And at the same time you're choosing simple nutritious recipes, at the same time using slow cookers or pre-made iftar packs for busy days if necessary, of course. And in this way you're actually also keeping into account what you're actually feeding your body as well after a long day of fasting and also doing work for so long as well. If you're not eating properly, then it becomes really difficult for you to fast for a long period of hours as well. So I highly recommend for you to make sure that you're meal prepping as much as you can. And if there is one family member of yours that is not currently maybe having a full-time job or any kind of a job outside the house, then they can also actually help you with that as well. So for example, if you have a mother or parents who are both really good at cooking and they're not working at the moment, you can actually tell them to actually cook for you some meals as well, and maybe you can help them out in the weekend as well. So in that way you're actually balancing the work really effectively and you're all eating really well, and also you're not feeling lethargic during your working hours. Number 10 tip is the last tip, is to reflect daily to realign. And this matters because reflection helps you stay connected to your goals both spiritually and professionally as well. And before your bed you should ask these 3 questions that I do like to ask myself as well, and that is, first of all, what did I do well today? That's the first question that you should be asking yourself to make sure that you're actually reflecting on how your day went. The second question is, where can I improve tomorrow? And the third question is, what am I grateful for today? This is essentially one of the beautiful ways to actually end the day and also reflecting and being grateful for the fact that you was alive for one more day to be able to actually accomplish your professional goals at the same time your spiritual goals, which are both equally very important to achieve in this life and the next, because you're going to be feeling you never want to neglect this life for the next and next life for this life as well. So you want to make sure that you're integrating Islam in both worlds as much as possible, and you will see how much fruitful your life feels. You feel more purposeful and you also feel happy as well with your life. And I hope that these tips have helped you in some way or another in balancing Ramadan and your 9-to-5 job. If it did, then please do like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I like to post this kind of content on a weekly basis, making sure that I'm helping you in professionally, academically, spiritually, and personally as well. And of course, all of my links and products and courses and services, everything is linked in the description box below. So if you want to check them out, they're always underneath all of my videos. And I will see you guys in my next video.